Knowledge, Domain 9, Lesson 6. Here are this lesson's learning targets. Our goals are: I can compare and contrast a world map from 1492 with a world map from today. I can explain why people wanted to leave England for North America. I can demonstrate an understanding of the word disappointed. I can identify important dates on a timeline. Let's talk about what we've learned in this domain so far. When was Columbus's first voyage to America? 1492. What was Columbus hoping to find when he reached his destination? Gold and spices. This map shows what Europeans thought the world looked like in Columbus's time. This is a map of the world today. What do both the world map of today and the 1492 map show? The world map of today and the map of 1492 both show Europe and Asia. What does the world map of today show that the 1492 map does not show? The world map of today includes North America and South America, but the 1492 map does not. Why are the two maps different in this way? Europeans did not know that North America and South America existed, so they were not on the 1492 map. Today's map looks very much like the map used during the time of the Pilgrims. In today's story, you will hear the following new vocabulary words. Colonies. Colonies are areas of land where native people are ruled by people from another country. Many people wanted to start colonies in the new land. Disappointed. Disappointed means feeling that things did not work out as planned. We were disappointed when the ice cream truck did not come down our street. Explorers. Explorers are people who travel to unfamiliar places to find or learn something. Religion. Religion is a set of shared beliefs, often involving the worship of a higher being, that provide guidance for ways to live. Joseph says his daily prayers as part of practicing his religion. Refused. Refused means declined to do something. My brother refused to put his boots on before he went out to play in the snow. Now it's time for the read aloud. Today's read aloud begins on the continent of Europe in the country of England. You are going to hear a story about a group of people called the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims were not always called the Pilgrims. That is because the word pilgrim means someone who makes a very long journey, far from home. When the story first begins, the Pilgrims had not left home, so they were not pilgrims yet. Instead, they were known as separatists. Listen very carefully to the read aloud to find out why the separatists wanted to leave England. The title of today's read aloud is Colonies in Native American Lands. Do you remember which country's king and queen helped Columbus sail across the ocean from Europe? It was Spain. Columbus was one of the first explorers to visit what they called the New World. But after Columbus's voyages, many other countries in Europe began sending their own explorers, hoping to find gold and jewels. Their men sailed westward from France, Portugal, the Netherlands, and England. For the next 100 years, European explorers and their ships sailed back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean, exploring the continent of North America and updating their maps based on what they learned. As time passed, the Europeans began to build colonies in America. Years before, Columbus tried to start a colony in Hispaniola by claiming that the land he came upon belonged to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Now, 100 years later, other Europeans were doing the same thing. In 1607, the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. They named it Jamestown, after their ruler, King James I. King James was well liked by the English people, but sometimes he used his power badly. As head of the Church of England, King James declared that everyone in his kingdom must share his religion. They must all attend the Church of England, the King's Church, and pray as the King prayed. The English people had no choice. Now, most people in England followed the King's command, but there were some English people who did not. One group was known as the Separatists. The Separatists had their own beliefs about how to pray. They were disappointed with the King's church, so they formed their own church and began meeting in homes. Well, when they refused to attend the Church of England, the king was furious. "If you miss the Sunday worship service," he told them, "you must pay a fine or money. And," he warned them, "if you continue to miss church service, I will command my soldiers to arrest you and throw you in jail." You can imagine how upset the Separatists became. They lived in fear of being arrested and thrown in jail. One woman whispered to a friend, "I think someone working for the king has been watching our house." Her friend looked around nervously to make sure that no one else was listening, and then said, "My husband thinks someone has been following us in the streets to see if we are going to our own prayer meeting instead of going to the church. Who knows which of us might be next?" Life became harder and harder for the Separatists in England. Other people looked at them curiously, and they did not know what to do. They heard that people in other countries were able to worship as they pleased, and so the decision was made to leave Europe behind. They would look for a way to reach North America. The Separatists were about to begin a pilgrimage, or journey, to this continent that was brand new to them. From here on, they would be known as the Pilgrims. Now, answer these questions about today's story. Who were Separatists? Separatists were people in England who did not want to share the king's religion. They did not want to attend the Church of England or pray as the king prayed. Who were pilgrims? Pilgrims were the same as separatists. They were called pilgrims because they made a pilgrimage or journey to North America. I will ask you more questions about today's story. After Columbus's time, did Europeans ever sail westward across the Atlantic Ocean again? Yes, many more explorers followed Columbus to North America. The read aloud says that in 1607, the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. Why do you think the English wanted to have colonies in this place that was unfamiliar to them. They wanted to search for gold and other treasures. They wanted opportunity for power, and they wanted to be free to practice their own religious beliefs. What rule did King James have that the separatists did not like? He commanded that everyone practice his religion. They had to attend his church, the Church of England, and pray like he did. What did the separatists decide to do? Separatists decided to leave Europe and try to reach North America. They were then called pilgrims because they tried to make a pilgrimage or a journey to an unfamiliar place. What happened to people who would not go to the Church of England? They had to pay the king money and risk being arrested. How did the separatists anger King James? They refused to attend the king's church, the Church of England. Now, here's something to think about. If you were a separatist living in England during this time, would you want to leave to go to a colony in North America, or would you want to stay in England? Why or why not? Share your thoughts with someone in your family. Now it's time for some word work. In the read aloud, you heard the separatists were disappointed with the king's church. Say the word disappointed with me. Disappointed. Disappointed means feeling that things didn't work out as planned. You might feel disappointed if you really wanted chocolate ice cream and the ice cream shop ran out of chocolate. Tell me about a time when you felt disappointed. Use the word disappointed when you tell about it. You can start by saying, I felt disappointed when. What's the word we've been talking about? That's right, disappointed. I am going to read some sentences to you. You might feel disappointed by the occasion described in the sentence. If you would, say, I would feel disappointed. If you wouldn't feel disappointed, say, I would not feel disappointed. You got the bicycle you wanted for your birthday. I would not feel disappointed. It rained on a day you were hoping to go outside and play. I would feel disappointed. Your friend got sick and couldn't come over to play. I would feel disappointed. Pizza was for dinner and it's your favorite food. I would not feel disappointed. You planted a seed and it didn't grow. I would feel disappointed. Now it's time to show what you've learned. The read-alouds you have been hearing are based on real events from a very long time ago. This is a timeline. A timeline shows dates with a certain period of time that mark important events. The numbers in each box are calendar dates. This timeline starts with the year 1400 because Columbus sailed to North America in the 1400s. What was the actual year of Columbus's voyage? It was 1492. In today's read aloud, it was said that the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. They named it Jamestown after their ruler, King James I. Do you remember in what year Jamestown was started? Jamestown was started in 1607. I will add more dates to the timeline as you learn more about the Pilgrims. Let's review this lesson's learning targets. Our goals are: I can compare and contrast a world map from 1492 with a world map from today. I can explain why people wanted to leave England for North America. I can demonstrate an understanding of the word disappointed. I can identify important dates on a timeline. That completes our knowledge lesson. Happy learning!